Hello, welcome back to More Fun Fixing It. This one's quite a special one. I have 4 Silver Label C64s to triage today. So I won't be fixing anything. I'm just going to be looking at the general outline of the faults. And to be clear, I've already recorded this video and I'm having to re-record it because new information has come to light. But let's not get into all of that. Let's start looking at this one first. This one is, well, it's just the top half because I've already taken them all apart and I'm just going to put them up on the bench one at a time. But they are all silver labels. Now, this is to work up to repairing the really early C64 Silver Label. Let me just grab that one. This machine, which has been seen on this channel a few times, is a very, very early Silver Label C64, and this is the very early board. I don't even know what assay number this is. No, it doesn't say there. Oh, it does say here 326.298, revision A, and yeah, it's in lovely condition, but this one's not working. So I want to be able to make sure that I fix this one without causing any issues. It would be nice to sort this heatsink out as well, maybe. But yeah, let's not worry about this one too much right now. Let's get into these other ones. Well, there's one thing to note on this, and that's that this one has this 5-pin DIN here. So the 5-pin DIN only carries the composite video. There's no Luma Chroma available on this, so there's no S video. I'm just going to put this one away. Now this board is out of that other one. Like I said, I've already taken these apart. Some of them, a couple of them have got broken case clips, but most of them actually completely intact. They're in really good condition. I'll show you this one for a start. Yeah, this one's actually one of the worst ones. So this one's got missing 2 clips here. It's missing. This one's hanging off. That one's about to go, and these two look in poor condition. But most of the others look okay. All of the screw posts and everything in them looked okay. I've got all of the cans. I've already removed these because I've had to check that the VIC2s were in their sockets. All of them have RF shields as well. One of them is in very rough condition. I can show you that one in a minute. But what I want to show you is this board. Now, this board had a problem with this PLA, and I thought that this might, well, the initial diagnosis from Paul was black screen. But there is actually no video output on this one. But anyway, the PLA was actually 1 pin down. The CPU was hanging out on this side. So I corrected all of that, cleaned up the sockets with some contact cleaner and tried it again and still got no video output. Let me show you that actually. There we go, 3, 2, 1, nothing at all. So voltages with my new fancy EV blog multimeter. Thank you, patrons, for helping me buy this. Well, I'm still getting used to this, but we're on voltage DC there and checking at the output of the 5-volt regulator. Oh, sorry. What? Why is that 11 volts? That's the input. The output of the 5-volt regulator is 5 volts exactly. The output of the 12-volt regulator is 12 volts. Going into that should be 20 odd volts. Yeah, that's good. So there should be 5 volts there. There is. And there should be about 10 volts AC on here. And there is 10.1. So the voltages are good, but there's no output. I have taken this VIC2 out of here and tested it in another machine, and it works fine. There's nothing wrong with the VIC2. I haven't tested any other chips. So what normally, when you've got no output, it's usually that the AC voltage is missing somehow. So maybe the 5-volt regulator or the 12-volt regulator here. So these 2 regulators feed the 12 volts to the SID and to the VIC2. The other 5 volts that comes in off of the actual connector here feeds the rest of the board. So if I got a thermal camera out and turn this on, all of these chips, you can see, are getting nice and warm. And the VIC2 is actually getting warm. So they are getting voltage. Normally, if something was wrong here and say this power switch was incorrect, or the voltage regulators had gone bad, or something else like the bridge rectifier had gone bad, or the fuse is gone. The fuse is going is a classic, because that just stops the 12 volt getting to this chip, and then you get no output at all, just not even a black screen, you get nothing. But because this is heating up and because it's got voltage, something else is wrong. Now, I went away from this without realizing what the actual problem was, and I started editing the video that I recorded yesterday and learned a little bit. I found a video by BWAC, who's somebody who's prolific in the vintage tech scene and a lovely person, and he had put a video out some time ago showing this revision board, and this is a 14194HB. It also is marked as on the back as a 251022 revision B. So this is the second revision of this type of board. Now, something that he found was there was a problem with these two capacitors inside this can. And this really shocked me, because I've fixed a lot of C64s. There are probably not very many people in the modern hobby that have fixed as many as I have. I think Commodore Lad is probably going to be one of the only ones. I've literally fixed dozens, possibly hundreds. They just, you know, they're becoming more common than spectrums on my workbench. Now, in all of those C64 repairs, I've only ever seen one bad capacitor, electrolytic capacitor, over here on this side. And that was just an obviously burst one that actually burst on camera and spilled its guts all over the place. Now, I've never seen a bad cap apart from that until today. Look down here. Oh, that's actually... You can see there's goop down there. There's electrolytic goop, and it's run all along here as well. I'm gonna have to find out whether that's gonna need grinding back just to make sure. I doubt that that's eaten through, but that needs to be sorted out. And this chip's gonna have to come off, and all of this green and crusty stuff fixed. This one is also looks bulgy, but I'm not sure if it's actually leaking yet, but that they will both need changing. So that's obviously what's going on here. This is part of the timing circuit. I mean, all of these chips here are part of the timing circuit for the video signal. The crystal goes through parts of these chips, in and out of these chips, before it goes to the VIC-2. And obviously this one's sitting right next to there. This one is probably bad, but I mean, these caps here as well being crusty could also be part of the problem. But yeah, that's going to be that one's repair story. That I don't really need to do any more triage on this now. Before I can do anything, I need to get a display out of it to find out if anything's wrong over this side. So there we go. That's that one. Before I go any further, this is the very early revision A board, and I just want to show you that there's no crustiness inside here. These caps are... Where are we? These caps are not leaking. There's another one there. That's just normal age type corrosion. So this will probably not need recapping at all. Probably. Here's the next one, which is also black screen and no... Oh, it says it's got power, so that means that the LED lit up. Case is in good condition, just needs retro brighting. Right, this one is in very poor condition. This really, really corroded RF shield here, and inside it's dirty. Across the back here where the ports have been exposed to the elements, this must have been kept outside or in a shed or something. It's really got dirty and there's loads of dust bunnies back there. It's nasty. Now this one has the same problem as the other one in that there is voltage getting to everywhere. I've already plugged this in and tested all of that. And the big problem, now that I know what to look for, is down here on this chip here, this 74 LS629 next to that cap, and they have both Kamigatsa. So we know what to do with that one. Once I get a signal out of this and clean up all of this dirt, I can actually start diagnosing this, but that's going to be part of its repair. I think I'm probably going to have to remove this chip, replace those caps. Now, there is one thing. These caps in here are these black ones, and the same in the other one. They were black and the other ones were blue. And I thought that meant that the blue ones were all okay. But if you look down this side of the board, there's a cap here, and just here there's a little bit of green appearing there, and that needs a little bit of resoldering because that's not the best joint. But this one over here, this one's definitely let go. That crustiness there, and if you look at the solder joints next to it, this ferrite bead here is nice and shiny, and this veer here is nice and shiny, but this is just suffered from leaky cap syndrome, and there's just some green up there on the top of the leg as well. So that is definitely a leaking cap, and there is probably a good cause now to replace all of the caps on this board. So as little fun as that's going to be, I think that's probably the sensible thing to do. So we'll put that one away. And I've got two more machines down here. There's this one, which says joystick, no sound joystick port issues. This one, which says no sound dodgy joy ports. We'll come back to this one. Get this one first. Now this one is a 250407, so this is a later board, but all of the chips in here are from the very early part of 1983. So this still is genuinely a silver label, and it's another one with the 8-pin DIN connector, so it's got S-video. Like all of these boards, apart from that revision A, have got 8-pin DIN connectors, and this one works. This one actually does have a display. I can show you that. Plug this one in and switch it on, and we have a normal display. The SID chip in this is gone, so that's going to need replacing, and it would be nice to replace it with something that wasn't a SID kick Pico, so, you know, an original SID chip of 1982 vintage if we can manage it. Not quite so important on a 250407. But the other problem in here is, even though it's a 250407, it's still got a leaking cap out here. Yeah, that's not good. The other one has gone as well. Started bulging. So this one's another one that's probably, well, I'm definitely going to replace those two. The rest of the caps actually look okay. There's one over this side on the reset that looks a little bit crusty. I might change that one as well. But I'll talk to Paul and see what he wants to do about changing all of the caps on these or not. If it was me, if it was my machine, I would change the caps. If any of them show signs of leakage and I wanted to preserve my property, I would change all of the caps just because I know that I can do it without damaging it, and I know that it would be better for having done it. In a C64 in general, I wouldn't do it. It's the first time I've seen this. This is absolutely bizarre. Now this other one, which has also got joystick port issues, has got grey caps in it, totally different to all of the others. And this is again another KU14194HB board. And this one has no leaking caps. None of these caps in here are leaking. I better prove that to you because the internet will think I'm lying. These all look absolutely fine. Where's the other one? No sign of crustiness there at all. And this one is also working I can plug this in, switch it on. Perfect screen, but this one, again, SID chip has gone. So that's going to be why the control ports are not working, or possibly why the control ports are not working. But I'll do a full diagnosis on all of these machines, attach the test harness to all of them and make sure everything is exactly as it should be before they go off to be sold to whoever. So that's it. That's all 4 of the Silver Label C64s triaged. I know what I've got to do next. I've got a couple of interesting repairs, at least, maybe 3. With 3 of them were leaking properly, so that's definitely going to be a thing. Anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed that. It's a bit of an eye-opener for me, and hope it warns somebody in the future if they get hold of one of these early boards and other C64s. I'm now wondering what's in other ones. What about my test machine? Nah, there's no leaky caps in there. But now I'm going to be on the lookout for it. I will be watching out for it like a hawk now, because I almost missed it. Right, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in the next one.